I was doing a lot of drinking, you know, when I was trying to cope with my depression, trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life. And then not only that, but meeting Derrick, starting this brand, kind of brought people together. It's like, hey.
What is up, my coastal community? We are finally out here in Union Landing, California, all the way from the East Coast, and we are finally here to share the story of none other than Derrick "Struggle" Rodriguez. Like, he helped me so much, and he inspired me, and he wanted to inspire other people through his gym edits on how to be more fit, be more healthy. And then he took that content creation and turned it into a Struggle Athletics apparel brand, and it is amazing what he has built to this day. All right, he started locally, and then he built it up globally, and right now he is killing it out there. The Struggle Athletics name, it has a story behind it, and I am so excited for you all to finally hear what that name means and how he came up to that name. It didn't just come in his head one day. This is deeply rooted into his experiences, and it's going to really vibe with all of your experiences, because we all have our own struggles and we all have to persevere to get to where we want to get to in life, and he is the epitome of that, and he wants to share that with all of you. So we are super excited to finally be out here and share this story. So let's go get it.
Roger, we'll stop Discovery. Welcome back. A great ending to the new beginning.
Alright, what's up, guys? So we are finally here in the home of Derrick "Struggle" Rodriguez. Finally here. This is where all the work is created, and this is where the work has been taking place for over the past, what, year now? Or since even before that?
Yeah, it's been about 8 months since I started the Struggle brand itself. And yeah, it's just been crazy, so.
I'm going to let him take over and kind of tell you where he started, way from the beginning. Like, we're going to fully backtrack on this entire story until you got to this day right here. So
yeah.
Go ahead.
Was born and raised in San Francisco. My whole story is, to sum it up, I moved about 16 times up until this point where I'm actually here now in San Leandro. I moved to Tracy, moved to Modesto, moved to all of these places, and it's always been challenging for the simple fact that I was always losing friends, making new friends, always forced to be alone, being alone at the quad, and it became my own personal struggle. But one of the things that has always been a part of me growing up was because I was always alone, it forced me to always be creative. So it forced me to get into photography, get into videography, start doing, you know, like some Photoshop work. So. There's a time where actually, when I was about 15 years old, someone said "beautiful struggle," and in the back of my mind I told myself, how can a struggle be beautiful? Isn't struggle supposed to be a bad thing? But then it resonated with me so much that I was like, you know, it felt right to me. So I decided that, you know, like, I'm going to put it on a shirt. So I designed it on Photoshop, I put it on a shirt, came to school my sophomore year in high school, and people were just like, whoa, like, where'd you get that shirt? That's dope. People were just reading it, and people were like, that's dope, where'd you get it from? And I was like, oh, actually, I made it. So when I started wearing the shirt, I started getting a lot of attention, and people were like, you should start selling it, or like, how can I get one? And at the time, I only had made it for myself. So I was screen printing my own shirts, right? So I talked to my dad. We got a screen printer like in my garage. So I was screen printing shirts in my garage. I only had 2 shirts. It just said "Beautiful Struggle" on it, a black shirt and then a white shirt. I would come to school every single day with 2 duffel bags. First duffel bag had like the orders from people, so like I literally had like notepads, like a notepad, like a sticky, like a sticky, like this, like on my arm, like this. And I would walk around school and I would like, hey, what's your order? And I would just write down that order.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, okay, like Michael's large on the black. And then I would keep it there, and then I would take those orders and bring it to school. And then my second duffel bag was just like a bunch of random sizes, medium, small, extra large. And these are people like, hey bro, like how can I get one? And I've never met them, so I would sell it to them. Literally, like I was like this guy that everybody was like to get shirts from. I graduated my senior year in high school. I was still selling shirts, but because I lost my entire market, and because everybody left college, everyone went back to school, like I didn't have anyone to sell it to anymore. So I stopped. Fast forward a couple years after high school, after high school we kind of just try to figure out what we want to do with our lives, like going to college, whatever it is. And I came to a point in my life where I was like, what do I really want to do? And it always kept coming back to the brand. So what I decided to do was like, you know what, I put my head down, I was like, I'm going to start the brand again. This was about August of 2016, which was just last year, and I decided, hey, like, I'm start working on it more, start sampling some t-shirts, trying to get up to date with like the industry. I wanted to make the brand for the fitness industry, so when I rebranded, I knew that the word beautiful struggle wouldn't have done so well in the fitness industry because the word beautiful was too feminine. So what I did was I dropped the beautiful and I kept the struggle, because that's what meant the most anyway. Mm-hmm. And then I rebranded it, launched. I worked on it for about 3 to 4 months, getting the logo design, getting like all of the content work done, and then December 12th I launched it. And then it just exploded. Just exploded. Like we started to do orders like ridiculously, like around the world. Like we've covered almost every single state, like in the United States, Canada to Australia to the UK, but it's not so much about how much we've sold. It's more about the amount of people that we've been able to impact. The brand is an extension of what I believe in, and it's an extension of how I see the world, how I view adversity, pain, and going through those dark times, because the truth is that we all go through it. And in the fitness industry, I saw a lot of brands that would talk about these, like being unstoppable, being like all of these big words, and like those are great positive words, but I wanted to bring to light the reality, which was, it's hard. Like we all go, no matter, like I don't want to say that I had a bad childhood. I had a great childhood, despite all the changes that I've had and despite everything, but we've all had those dark times. We've all had those times where it's just like we feel like we just want to give up. And to bring this brand in a positive light and make everybody think of struggle in a different way, I think that's where the brand really took off, and that's when people start to really resonate with it the most.
Yeah, and I think what's super crazy is like you don't know what's going to happen in the future, and for you it would have been so easy when you got out of high school to just completely stop the brand.
Yes.
But because we were talking about this earlier, social media was just becoming, like Snapchat wasn't even around yet, Instagram was just being made, so he could have easily said, all right, I'm done doing this, I'm going to go pursue something else, but he stuck with it, and you said because you just had a passion for it, so you kept coming back to it, and because he stuck with it, he was able to, restart it back up with these platforms that are available to us today, so I think the biggest takeaway for that is like, if you truly have a passion, you might have to take a layoff on it for a while because you had to do other things, but, he didn't give up on it, and look at him today, and the thing is, like, it's never about the width of it. Of any industry that you do, whether it's within the business or outside the business, it's always about the depth, and that's what he is trying to do the best at, is the depth and connecting with the family. This is a family, yes. So talk about how you're building this struggle family. Like, tell me more about it.
Okay, so going back to what Michael was saying, it's to me, I feel like a lot of people think about going wide and like attracting like a bigger audience, and in marketing that's important, but in such a noisy world, it's your ability to go deep in terms of like getting to know your customer on an individual basis. Like, instead of trying to target 1,000 people, why don't you talk to that one person, and then the next person, and then the next person? And not only did people resonate with our message, but we were able to provide them with an experience to feel like they were more than just a customer. Like, we were providing more than just a product. And I think a big part of that was just, you know, number one, when a customer makes an order, and if they leave their number, I'll call them. I'll call them personally and be like, "Hey, what's up, Michael? Like, you know, I'm the owner of the Struggle brand. I got your order. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I just want to call it personally. Thank you for your order. I can't wait to get this order out to you." And then, you know, we'll have small talk for a little bit. They'll tell me like, "Oh, you know, I found your brand through blah blah blah, and you know, I saw a friend wearing it," and like, it takes like 30 seconds to a minute, right? You know, we process their order the same day. We write them a note, and when we write them a note, we ship it out, we package it, we make sure it looks perfect for them. We send that out to them, and then once they receive it, a couple days later, after they receive it, we basically just contact them and follow up with them and ask them like, "Hey, what did you think about it? How can we improve? Like, what's presentation, baby?" Want to see, like, and we always keep in touch with our customers. Like, a lot of customers have my phone number, you know, they have my Snapchat, like, they snap me, they DM me all the time. Like, I talk to my customers all the time, and like, that's going deep. Like, it's not just about making a product that looks cool and then taking and putting it on the market. It's about getting to know your customers, because that's, in such, like I said, in such a noisy world, the thing that will separate you the most from like other brands is the community that you're able to build. Because if you have this strong community of people that believe so much in like what you do, then it's just all growth from there.
It's crazy the amount of back work that has to go into it until you actually can launch the brand.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's not an immediate impact right away. There's this work that has to be put into scale, like you want to scale.
Of course.
You know, so kind of let them know that it takes time. It doesn't just happen overnight.
Of course. So when we first launched the brand, it's not like we got the orders that we did. Like, the orders now, it's not like we got them when we first started. Like, when I first started the brand, like, we had a couple orders. A lot of them were like friends. People, when you first launch a business, especially in the apparel industry or maybe any industry, the first initial buyers are people who are your friends and who support you. Like I said earlier, like, being able to provide that experience and like a great quality product to those customers initially, that's when you start to expand, because they start to tell their friends, they start to tell. It becomes free market, right? Like, you have maybe you have a best friend that supports you and they purchase your product. You've made a great product. You take care of your friend, and then they end up telling their friends, and then you get their customers. You offer them that same experience, and then like the roots, they just start to spread. It becomes like wildfire. And think that, you know, that you're gonna not take care of the people that have already taken care of you. Like, you have to take care of the people that are huge supporters of the brand, the people that have purchased from you, because they're the people that have bought into you. And the truth is like, as a small business, like, if someone has taken time out of their day, or they're taking like hard-earned money that they've made to purchase from a small business, it says a lot about your business. Because in this world, like, people just want to buy like the big brands like Nike, Adidas, and the big fitness brands like Live Fit and Gymshark. But as a small business, if someone could go on your page and be like, "Wow, I really like that," and they buy it, and they don't know anything about you, maybe they don't even have, like, it's not that big, like, then it shows that like you really can take care of, like, you know what I mean, like, you can really offer that experience for them. So
yeah, and that, like, the whole word of mouth thing, I mean, like, I remember, like I said, I knew you 4 months prior to you launching the brand, you know, and when it finally launched, I was so excited to support it, you know, and I knew that the term struggle was so much deeper than just, you know, like, the name. You know, and I think it's so important, because it's never about the likability factor, it's about the relatability factor, and there's so many people who can relate, and it's so broad, because anyone can fit under that umbrella of the term struggle, and that's how he is created this family, and it's, you know, it's the family that is what builds and flowers out overall, because like you were saying earlier, you know, that's how a lot of brands fail, because they don't have that connection with their, you know, their base,
with their
customers, you know. So I think it's super important. But that's pretty much it, guys. This was his story going forward, and he's only been doing this for 8 months, so it's crazy to see how he's going to scale in the future, because he has so much to offer. This brand has so much to offer, and it means so much. And if you follow him on his Instagram page and all of his social platforms, which will be right here, like, he 100% puts in that hustle. You could see it on display all the time, and he has it all around his room of the work that he puts in. He's constantly reading, trying to gain more knowledge. You're always reaching out to people, and this is more human connection between you and I. And coming out here, like, I've already, in the 12 hours that I've
Yeah,
seen you, like
pretty
I've
much.
learned so much from him already. What is up, my coastal community? We are finally back here in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, and I want to start off by saying it was such an awesome opportunity to finally get out to San Francisco, California, and share the story of Derrick Struggle Rodriguez. Derrick, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for letting me into your humble abode and sharing your story on our platform. It was such an awesome opportunity, and it was even greater experience to meet everyone out there that's part of the Struggle Athletic family. So I thank you so much for being so kind and caring and all that good stuff when I was out there. So I truly, truly appreciate it. I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Please go follow Derrick. He is a hard worker. His purpose behind the brand is so meaningful, and I hope you guys can all see that after this video and going forward. So thank you so much, and we'll see you guys next time. And remember, live with a purpose to serve a purpose.